Hey guys, this is Kamigano, and today I am doing top 10 Kickstarters of the month, my favorite video to do every month on this channel. So let's get started. First of all, I have a lot of honorable mentions. The reason they're honorable mentions is because they are my friends. I do not want to be biased, so I did not include them into the top 10, but of course I do want to give them a shout out. So first we have Clay, who's doing Deadskins. So this is issues 1 through 4, so you're getting a 60-page bound book, and this is Western meets comedy meets horror, and it's described as Blazing Saddles meets The Walking Dead. The one thing with Clay, he is great at putting stories that you feel like you've known and putting it on its head, so you definitely should go check this one out, and I'm so excited to get this one as well. Now, moving on to Spirit's Destiny, issue 3. This is by Dorfis, and this is the first Haitian female hero ever, which is kind of crazy to see that. And yeah, really like this character and digging into that heritage, and you should definitely go check that one out. And this is up to issue 3. Moving on to Athena Voltaire, and this is Nazi punching, monster killing character, kind of pulpy in a way, and it's also on a train, so you know you're gonna get some fun, familiar story and mystery there, and again, even pulpy story. Artwork looks really good, female lead, definitely go check that one out. Moving on to my last honorable mention, which is one that's not on Kickstarter yet as I talk about this, but there is the pre-launch page you could follow, and that is Glarien, and that is part of White Ash. White Ash, if you don't know the comic, it's at Scout Comics, and then also has done extremely well on Kickstarter. Definitely one of my favorite Kickstarter comics, indie comics, and it really mixes a great grounded element with fantasy. And usually I'm not a huge fantasy fan, but because it has so much to do with character, Charlie always sucks me into all his books and in the White Ash universe and all his books in general. So definitely go check this one out. I am stoked to learn more about the White Ash universe. So go check out all those pages. Now we're moving into the top 10. So number 10 for me is The One Last Job. This is a black and white book, and what really got me to be interested in this book is the idea that this guy, he's an assassin, he's like, okay, one last job. Okay, this is going to be the last one. So I want to see how he gets to that point, why morally he gets to this point, and yeah, what his character journey is. There's just a lot of interesting good and bad that I think will hopefully be explored here. So that one definitely piqued my interest. So that is number 10. Moving on to number 9, which is the Duplicant, and this is issues 1 through 4, so you're already getting a big bundle here. I've really enjoyed this series, from the artwork to the idea of a scientist experiment going wrong, and what do you do there. So definitely go check that one out, especially for the artwork. The art is really even as good as the mainstream comics, so go check out that one. That is number 9. So next up is Crow Creek, and Crow Creek, it's based in a Native American reservation, and it is a zombie book. So I just thought that was a very interesting mix of genres going on and setting, and something I hadn't seen before. So that is why it is number 9 on my list. Moving on to that was my number 8 on my list. And moving on to number 7, which is Illusion Witch. This just seemed right up my alley. It is a character who is a magician in real life, so illusionist, and then she becomes a sorcerer. So I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting concept. The idea of someone who's being deceptive, and that's, you know, what the idea of their job is, and it's not real magic, actually gets real magic, and how that affects her character arc. So that is my number 7 pick. Moving on to number 6, which is actually one I mentioned the pre-launch page for with my previous video, and that is Super Best Friends. Jason has done such a great job with his comics, and I can't wait to read his new edition. And this one's a very Jimmy Olsen Superman tale in a modern take, where we get to see a Superman-esque character has a best friend, and he records all his fights and everything that's going on with him. So I like that modern take, and I want to see how it puts that comic book trope on its head. So that is my number 6 pick. Moving on to number 5, which is The Land. And this also, the reason this attracted me was the setting, which is New Zealand. And gods appear and they're like, oh, the world's not exactly how we thought it would be. The artwork also looks really unique for this one as well. So go check out The Land. That is my number 5 pick. Moving on to number 4, which is Issunboshi. I hope I pronounced that right. And this is a Japanese folklore book of the one-inch samurai. But what really attracted me to this book was the artwork. It looks like a cartoon coming to life. It just looks so gorgeous. I can't wait to read this book. So that is number 4. Moving on to number 3, which is the Monolith. And this has a Black Mirror take to things, and the artwork looks so edgy, and I can't even describe the tone. It just looks so fascinating, and it definitely works with the kind of Black Mirror idea that they're going for, where a mom is driving a kind of self-taught car, self-riding car, I guess, and her kid gets trapped. So it's this adventure of technology versus humankind and how she gets her son back. So I thought there was a really emotional story there, a really interesting theme, and also, again, the artwork just kind of blew me away for that one. So that is number 3. Moving on to number 2, which is Miracles, and this is by the same writer who does The Pride and Glitter Viper as well. So they've done Kickstarters before. And this has to do with a family of refugees, a family of superheroes. And that's definitely a story I enjoy. I want to see the secrets that they have, because they supposedly have many secrets, and how this family interacts and what the superhero tale will tell. So that's my number 2 pick. Moving on to number 1, which is Recovery Incorporated. This was also just kind of playing with a theme of comics we've seen before in a new angle. So this character is a thief. Then she's a detective. Then she's a thief again. So obviously, like the Jessica Jones character or Black Cat or Catwoman, it kind of had a familiar vibe there, and I wanted to see how it'd be different. And I like the idea that they go back to being a hero, a villain, a hero and a villain, and what does that mean for their moral compass? So that is my number 1 pick. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Of course, I'll do another top 10 Kickstarters next month. Let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite Kickstarters live right now? What are you backing? So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, this is Comic-Uno. Definitely follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Go check out my comics like Father Like Daughter and They Call Her a Dancer. And every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Comic Book Weekly, where we discuss our favorite comics and comic book news. Thanks, guys. Bye.